assuming fan of the tunnels.
Hey, well, I mean, think about it this way. This guy's changed his name like a bunch of times, okay? And they're all kind of difficult to say and not the best names. So, you know what? But he fits well into the support role, and he's got a good long range aim to go along with it. So, names aren't everything. Don't judge a book by its cover, and we'll see what he can do in the game.
Yeah, and thanks, chat, for pointing it out. I dry a light. Thank you. Kinetic Knights is next up with pick number 53.
Also, I'm seeing Optical Illusion was talking in chat a while ago, so he's probably pretty happy to be picked. But moving on.
Cyber. This is one that I have seen getting thrown out in chat as, why has Cyber not been picked up yet? Well, now he has a leader, mid-range player, North American Bricktop's favorite.
I think I know why he hasn't gotten picked yet, though. Because he was actually one of the people in the infamous Settings gang as well, and he was previously globally banned. So that might be why some of the teams are a bit reluctant to choose him, you know, because although he might be a good player, you never really know what he's going to do now.
So it has nothing to do with the Cleveland show shirt?
Nah, don't worry about that. That's okay.
All right, fine then. Well, we'll move right on to the Iron Inquisitors, pick number 54. Let's get 60 seconds up on that clock for the next pick.
Chad is still waiting for Gravity to be picked, but that's not going to happen now.
Nope, instead it's going to be Astrochemistry. A leader class player, mid-range, North American Bricktops.
Oh, but look at that quote, though. Look at that quote.
Glory to Vactovia.
Yes. So, I mean...
Vactovia!
So, hopefully you can help them out. We're still waiting for a bunch of the chat favorites who are not getting picked right now. But, we really can't do anything about that. So, moving on to a round 10, pick 55. And let's see what Colossal is going to pick this round. See if it's insta pick.
Close enough with Original, a support character, who wants to play smart. Maybe that's why he's been so late in the game to be chosen. Oh, look at that shirt. I'm pretty sure that is Ben Bones right there on his chest.
Yeah, and I mean, look at this. Again, you have another player with no head, and he's actually got the head on his chest, which might impact his team negatively, as now it's easier to aim for his head, you know? It's a bigger target, so I don't know how well that's going to play out for him, unfortunately.
Indeed. This is another long-range player and Bricktops North American. Again, that's all pretty standard at this point. But moving on to pick number 56 for the Atomic Avengers. 60 seconds on the clock, and they don't even need it.
They don't even need it. So we got a support player here, a support close range player. Interesting. With Polaris picked, so that's a bit interesting. You don't really see support players up in the front lines that often, but he's actually he's a good team player. He's from Alaska, which you don't see that often. So definitely an interesting player. What do you think he can do?
Well, I mean, that's an interesting combination of skills, being both close range and support. So a little bit tanky and able to get up there to the other folk that are bum rushing the opposing team.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and move into our next pick number 57 for the Blazing Barbarians.
Yep. So we got 6 seconds on the clock, and we're waiting right here. This is gonna be their 10th pick, and I feel like they're kind of not really sure what to pick anymore, honestly. At the beginning, like, I feel like as a team, you really know what you want to pick, but getting closer to the end, you're not as sure, but doesn't matter because he picks pretty quickly.
Yep, and we've got Pointless Chris, yeah. He's a leader class character, mid-range Bricktops North America, because of course he is. But yeah.
He's actually a relatively unknown player. So hopefully, he can do really well this season and maybe get his name out there a little bit. Wouldn't you love Pointless Chris to be a household name? That'd be awesome.
That would be pretty cool. So who's your favorite player? Oh, the Pointless one. All right, let's move on to pick number 58 for the Mighty Marauders.
Yep, and we're waiting. So timer should be going on 6 seconds pretty soon here, and we're gonna be counting down now. And there we have it. Oh, there we go. Gravity finally getting picked.
Yeah, Gravity Typhoon, leader class player. Been seeing Gravity pop up a whole bunch of times in chat. So if this is the same Gravity, I'm sure y'all are quite stoked about this. Mid-range Bricktops North American player.
Yep. So he played with a Knights last season. So definitely surprised he didn't get picked by Knights this season, but it's alright. He got picked at least by someone. He's a defensive player and likes to play a support role. At mid on Bricktop, so not tunnel this time.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So we're gonna move on to number 59 and pick number 59 for the Kinetic Knights. And now that we've had Gravity pick, maybe Devonton will be our next one as another chat favorite once we get 60 seconds.
Do you think the Knights actually want to pick Gravity and they were just waiting because they're one behind? Like
yeah, and it has happened this draft already where somebody someone else has wanted got picked early. Oh, but we got Kuos, a playmaker, long-range player, fan of the Narrow Gill, and out of North America. And I'm kind of loving the arm on the head look.
Yep, Dr. Octopus look. So he usually plays the sides on Bricktops. He's got great long distance aim and allows him to deal significant damage to the enemy and not get shot himself, hopefully. So we're gonna see what he can do here.
Indeed we are. Well, let's move right on to pick number 60, the last pick of round 10 for the Iron Inquisitors.
All right, and 6 seconds gonna be on the clock pretty soon here.
There we go.
All right, so they got 1 minute to pick their player. I honestly don't know what they need anymore. I think at this point they're just kind of, again, looking and seeing what they can get. And well, here we have it.
Sarof, a support player, mid-range. Again, Bricktops North America, but that's not the most interesting thing. Most interesting thing is his quote, which is just...
No, it actually says Z, but I mean,
you tried. Everybody knows.
No, you tried. It's all right though. Don't worry about it. We're gonna be moving on now to the next pick because Z. So we got Colossal with the next pick now.
Yep, pick number 61 for the beginning of round 11. Now let's see what Undefined is gonna do.
All right, so it's coming down to the wire. We're running out of some picks here. 6 seconds should be on the clock, and they're kind of just looking at the scraps a little bit, and seeing what's the best we can get right now. And everyone who hasn't gotten picked yet and who wants to be part of this is really hoping they can get picked and prove their worth a little bit.
Yeah, that is absolutely true, and nobody wants to be that last kid sitting on the playground, waiting to be picked, but somebody has to be, and right at 35 seconds we have a decision. Sa Fuse is our next pick, an offensive player, mid-range player, and he believes that money is like his damage. He has too much of it. Well, dude, if you do, please send some my way.
Yeah, I mean, if he's got this much money, it's probably because he's a pro player, he gets paid a lot for his sponsorships and stuff like that.
Not to be a jerk, but if you're so pro, why are you getting picked in round 11? Moving on.
All right, so we got the 11th pick.
Number 62.
For the Atomic Avengers here. And as we're waiting on this pick, oh, never mind. Don't even worry about it. We got Interfuse here for Atomic Avengers.
Yep, another support character, close quarters character, fan of the Bricktops out of North America. And yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised to see more support happening in these later picks because those seem to be a lot of the early picks in the draft.
Yeah, it seemed like they were picking a lot of support, longer range, medium range stuff at the beginning, but I guess it's just a lot of players that really enjoy playing support. But moving on, we got the 11th pick now, and while we're waiting for the Barbarians to take their pick, I'll be dropping a straw poll in the chat asking you what you like the most, 1v1s, 2v2s, or 6v6. So definitely vote on that, guys, while you're waiting.
Yep, and we'll see what the results of that straw poll are. But right now, pick number 63 is Zen Meteor, an offensive player, mid-range player. Again, Bricktops and North America.
All right, so he's also known as Stud Muffin. So I mean, he's definitely got some interesting names going for him.
Well, I mean, so am I, but
no, you're not. He enjoys playing a support role and shines when it comes to long distance fighting. So let's see what he can do here, and hopefully he can help out his team a little bit, Mr. Stud Muffin.
Yes, thank you very much for throwing that back at me, Alk. And moving on to the...
So we got the Mighty Marauders with their 11th pick here, and the timer should be 6 seconds, but they don't even need the timer, though. They've already picked a support player.
Yep, they got Foxco, a mid-range support, as you said. Fan of the Bricktops out of North America. Rocking a nice light blue.
Yeah, so he's a relatively new and unknown player, but he used to actually be Paul 321's apprentice, so hopefully he can show some of that in this game here. Likes to play Cave, and I think, honestly, if he's played under Paul's wing, then I think he'll definitely be able to make some work in this game.
Yeah, indeed. Even with as unfamiliar as I am with more of the recent history of the Roblox Gun League and Roblox Clan League, I recognize Paul 321 as a character. So having him as apprenticed under him, that would be pretty cool. But moving on to the Kinetic Knights, pick number 65.
All right, guys, and like I said, while we're waiting, make sure to check the straw poll. The what do you like the most, 1v1, 2v2, or 6v6? It's going to be in the chat. And we already have a pick here.
Yup, that would be Spec Slayer, a leader character, a mid-range character, fan of the pit grounds as opposed to Bricktops, so a little bit of variety there. And
yeah.
Again, North American player.
And this is interesting, actually. He is one of the Battle League's organizers, and he's always been a staff or a member or a coach or something like that, but he's never actually been fighting in the league. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see if, using his experiences and stuff, he can come out on top.
Yeah, there's a huge difference between being, playing in the background versus actually playing in the foreground within the league. But let's move on to final pick of round 11 for the Iron Inquisitors, pick number 66.
All right, and we have a support player again.
Yep, Shadow Zine. You can't run away from your own shadow is his quote. Good quote.
That is a good quote. It fits him pretty well. He is a middle player, likes to play support, and he plays on Bricktops.
Yep, and he's kind of rocking that whole shadow look with the all black, complete with Crow. Or maybe he's going for a little bit of Poe with a Raven, but we're on our last two rounds of picks, so let's move right into pick number 67 for the Colossal Crusaders.
This is the 12th pick for every team coming up here. So I really don't know what they're going to be looking for in the last few picks. What do you think they're looking for, Sippy?
Well, as I said before, there was a lot of mid-range and long-range that were picked in the earlier stages, so I think this is where we're going to see more of the close quarters. I was completely wrong earlier because I thought that the close range would be picked first because you'd want your tanky guys early on, but everybody else's picks seem to have flipped that idea on its head. So now I'm expecting more of the close quarters guys.
I'm thinking what they're trying to do is pick some people who can kind of stay more behind and make sure the team stays alive and stuff like that. But moving on, we